What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Never Miss Mondays podcast. My name is Cooter. Anyways, my name is Olivia.
And I'm Matthew.
Cooter's hot on the mic tonight. He wanted to join us as soon as we break the mics out. He comes out here acting like a fool. So he's just decided to join us. So what are we talking about today?
The red flags of
Coaching, really, mainly online fitness coaching, as that's the industry that we're in. But we've got some that are, I guess, like in-person training, which, whatever. But yeah.
just coaching in general, pretty much.
Yeah, the industry is like, it is no way oversaturated. Like, everybody has their niche, but there are a lot of coaches in the world, and there's a lot of confusion of like who to hire, who to trust, whatever. So both of us have been around the block a couple times. We know things, we see things, we hear things. We talk to people that have coaches, things like that. So this episode, we're going to talk about, red flags we've seen in coaching. So like this episode, if you are looking to hire a coach, you want to become a coach, these are things maybe you should consider. And if you are a coach and you do some of these things, maybe I would reconsider that as well. But really, mainly this episode is because I know how hard it is. Like, if you, especially in the online fitness industry, you're like, who the heck do I trust? Like, there's this influencer I really like, but are they a true, like, coach? Like, are they actually going to get me where I want to go? And do they care about just posting an insane transformation of me? Or do they actually care about me as a person and my health? Like, there's a big difference between how can I get this girl to lose the most weight possible and post her on Instagram and make her look good and not give a shit about her health and wreck her hormones, and not care about, like, there's a huge difference in between that. So, but our second episode, we'll talk about green flags in coaching. So there's a bunch of amazing coaches in the world, on the internet, things like that. So we'll talk about that. So really, if you've been looking into hiring a fitness coach, we'll talk about that. So boom. Red flag is if they're named Matthew Monday. No, I'm just kidding.
Oof.
I hate that guy.
Oh, I hate him too. He's a pain in the ass.
That's so funny. Cooter, do you think we're good coaches?
No.
He says no because we put him on a diet.
And he hates his life.
Chester is a little chunky. Okay, he's a little chunky. All right.
Little.
We put him on a diet. How long? What did we say? Maybe like a month ago. So his whole life, basically, he's just been like a grazer, aka an eater. He's not just grabbing a piece or two.
No,
like,
he is. That bowl's full. I'll finish it.
Facts.
And come back.
And so finally,
It got bad to the point it was him, but we were blaming it on the dogs, thinking they were eating his food.
Right. I was like, how he goes, all right, I'm about to get off this damn couch if y'all keep fat shaming me right now. No, and then he just sat one day, and I was like, man, he's looking a little chunky. So Cooter's been on a diet. He literally hates us. He's like staring at you right now, like that he hates you. But he's visibly losing weight. We make him chase the laser pretty much every night to get his exercise in and whatnot. So, yeah. So Cooter knows all about us as coaches. So he's getting used to the calorie deficit world. He's not a pro at the deficit. He's very, very good at bulking. Anyways, all right. So we'll get started in really here the red flags of coaching. So you go first. We made a list.
Yeah, and
a pretty good list.
Big list.
I would say I've got a couple things here. So you go first.
Where to start?
Right.
All right. Just when they immediately when you hire a coach, if I'm a client,
yeah,
and they just immediately put me in a deficit.
Right. So if you go to a coach and you're like, hey, I want to lose body fat, which is a great goal, which is,
I feel
that's
like
a goal of
most
people. Right. Most people, they want to put on some muscle, things like that, and it's important, or like for a bodybuilding comp, whatever. But in some phase, they're probably going to want to lose some body fat, right?
Like that was us in the very beginning.
Right.
We're just like, I want to lose the fat.
Right. So, go ahead.
Keep going.
No, like someone keeps. So let's say, I have this conversation with my clients all the time. I have had maybe one client in my entire years of coaching full time. I've done this for 3 years. I've had maybe one client that's come to me that I've put into a deficit right away. And by right away, I mean within the first month. Like one person, and that person was a coach themselves. Like the reality is 90% of you all, your metabolism is not functioning in a regulated basis to be able to healthfully and successfully lose body fat. So you need to bring your food up to maintenance, which is a reverse diet.
Which was me.
Right.
Like,
and you
so
lost
many
like
of
25 pounds in a reverse diet. Let's not forget about
I
that.
tell everyone, like, when we go home, they're like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? I'm like, you don't eat enough.
Right.
And they're like, I eat so much. Not eating all day and then come dinner and eating a shit ton is not eating enough still.
Right, exactly. And it's of the right things and in a very strategic way over a pretty long period of time. And then aside from that, it's not okay, reverse diet and then immediately go into a deficit. Your body needs to remain at a homeostasis for a little bit, if anything, even a little bit of a very slight surplus in order for your metabolism to truly feel good to go. You give your body a break. You're completely out of a dieting phase, things like that. Then you can go into a deficit. The other piece of that is y'all don't have your habits laid down. Like, how am I going to put you into a deficit, make you have more steps, less food, more cardio, more stress when you can't even do, reverse calories and reverse protocols that's little to no cardio, pretty average steps. You've got leniency in your reverse, things like that. Not throwing you a deficit without consistency. Like, you got to earn, I say that all the time at Ignite. You got to earn your deficit. I'm not putting anybody into a deficit because, one, I'm not going to put you into it if it's not going to work. So, also, you come to me eating 1,500 calories. What am I going to deficit you to? Nothing?
1,400, please.
You ain't going to lose shit. Let's be real. So, yeah, if you come in and they say, I want to lose body fat, and they say, okay, I'm going to drop your calories right away, run.
Yeah.
Terminate.
Okay, so I see that
Leave.
you're eating 1,500 calories. Okay, this week you're going to stay at 1,500. Next week we're going to drop you down to 1,400.
Leave.
No.
Leave. Gone. Gone, 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 gone. Gone, 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 gone. Both agree on that one. Yep. So I know it can feel annoying to not have, where you think that's the answer that you need, but I promise you it's not the answer you need, and it's not the answer you need long term. So, okay. In that, I guess I'll kind of go, right, the other one kind of goes to that, is if you have never been over 200 carb, and this is a pretty average number, but like I see all the time, like clients posting, they're like, I'm at maintenance at 160, 175 carb, or I'm growing at, 160, 170 carb. Please, God, I know you can eat more than that. I promise you, do not be afraid of food. I see this too often. And then you're only at 160 to 200 carb. You're going to cut yourself down to what? 80 to 90 as a lifestyle client? What are you doing?
Oh, that's awful.
What are you doing?
That's like nothing either.
Yeah, and as a lifestyle client, like I've had clients that have pushed down to like 100, 110, 120. But one, it was what was needed, and we did it very strategically, and it was for a very short amount of, for a short period of time, as well as these were people that had more elevated physique results, and had displayed extreme consistency with that. But they also got down to that with eating probably, I'd say, 260 to 280 carb on the regular prior to that. So like, whatever. But if you feel like, also too, the more muscle mass you're putting on, the higher your maintenance calories should be. So if you have been with this coach for 5 years and you're still not, being able to eat maybe a little bit more, things like that, maybe it's time to reassess, because your body needs fuel. And if you're never pulling it out of that true deficit, and it's only, we have to keep her losing weight, we can't see a scale spike. Like, at some point, the scale has to go up to tell us your body's maintenance and surplus calories. Like, It has to. We're not going off of a calculator. We're not going off of what you did last time. When I put you through a reverse diet, I kept going and was like, we're not done until you stop losing weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the scale's going to go up before we say we're done. It's not, I reached 350 carb. It's, we're done when your biometrics say we're done.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure.
I've had a girl that is 5'5", 5'6", I think, like tall, but not crazy tall, that I could have easily been like, okay, you know, average for women maybe is between like, most commonly I see between like 230 to like 260 carb for like maintaining maybe. Sometimes I see like it depends on your activity level, but like most common range. I cut her like 25 pounds down at 240. She was maintaining at like 350 carb. A calculator is not going to tell you that.
I'm pretty
A calculator will never tell a 5'6" girl to maintain on 350 carb. Like that.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure even like when I went through my deficit.
You were like, Olivia, this is so much
No,
food.
I was not a deficit, my reverse.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we actually got to like my true maintenance.
Yeah.
And I was already upper 300s.
Yeah.
If not 4 by
Yeah.
then. We just like more me just like called in like I'm just staying right here.
Yeah.
And I kind of just swayed away. But yeah, like only
And
200 carbs is crazy.
As a coach, I could have been like, oh, like this is a lot of food. I don't want her to put mass on. I'm going to wait. No, like I have the comfortability and the confidence level and the science and the education backing that we go until our biometrics tell us we're there. So if you consistently have every single one of your clients is all different jobs, different exercise, different age, different weight, different height, different complete bodily structures, different muscle mass, things like that, and you're putting them all the same macros, that's a problem. So that's a big one.
Yep. With what you said, another red flag, which so if they only have a CPT, but like I'm sure there's a lot of trainers and coaches out there with only a CPT that are new, that are great, been in the field for a long time, they're great. However, the coaches who are just like, I got my CPT, I don't need any more education.
Right.
If they're not preaching or like not preaching but like not even actively trying to get more and learning,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, I
run
think
away.
that's a big one. One,
Because like coaching and training, like all right, if I hired my grandpa who used to be crazy in the gym, he freaking was huge,
right.
and great dude, is smart when it comes to working all of it. But coaching back then versus now is a night and day difference.
Yeah.
Like,
It's also like it should be. And here's the thing with that, and I completely agree with that. My biggest pet peeve is like, you know, that the NASM CPT is like the end all be all. First of all, the NASM CPT is more physical therapy related than online fitness training related. And in my eyes, as a coach who did the NASM CPT, I didn't renew it because it did not teach me much of anything, and I am not paying for that. And I'll be straight up, yeah, I let mine expire. I learned everything that I know from having a coach myself, J3U,
yeah, like that's what we're
articles, talking
doing
to
now.
other coaches, mentoring with other coaches, reading scientific data and studies and experience. My NASM CPT taught me that I don't want to be at the physical therapist. That's what my NASM CPT taught me. So I think one, yes, like, you know, am I saying that anybody with just a NASM CPT is not a good trainer? Absolutely not. No. I was just a NASM CPT at one point in my life. However, I had years of other experience and exposure with that CPT.
Yeah, like same. I've only been that until just recently.
Right.
It is like continuing education is depends on like where you're going and what course or what you want can be pricey. So yes, it can
Yes.
take time. However, just because someone has their NASM, they're like, well, I don't need any more education.
Yes, that's my
Or
thing.
they will see a video on TikTok, science based, brand new information or study came out. No, I don't need that. That wasn't the NASM. That's not right.
Yeah, that's I think the big problem is the I don't need any more information. I've met coaches, I've talked to clients, things like that, where a coach have even said like, well, this is what I believe in. Well, I don't know about you, but I believe in science, and science is right, and science is what we base things. Oh my god. Science is what we base things off of. He said, science told me to give me more Meow Mix, motherfucker. And saying, and yes, I completely agree, it can be pricey. But scientific articles are released on the internet for free. There are books on Amazon. You could talk to other coaches, things like that. Hire a coach. But I completely agree saying that, I had many conversations where I've even been with coaches that have admitted like, well, I know science says this, but I grew up thinking this. What are you talking about? Sure, maybe it feels better to do it that way, but optimally, and I know not everything is always going to be optimal, but there are certain things where we have to stay updated on science, and we have so much new technology in 2025 and going forward that is telling us things that we weren't able to figure out 2, 5, 10, 15 years ago, that is now helping us out. I mean, there's been so much data that's come out around training recently and hypertrophy training to failure, working sets, things like that. I was just talking about that on my Instagram the other week, and not being open to learning that new education, I think, is one, a red flag, because like, how are you furthering yourself? And then 2, you're doing your clients a disservice. And 3, it's just the closed off mindset that just is not well. So again, it's not like you have to go and take all these courses and things you're not interested in. But at some degree, if you're in the industry for years and years and years and years and years, and you're going off of the same core things, which are core things for a reason, but there are so many new things and scientific studies that are being done. Like I just read a big study on like refeeds and diet breaks and things like that, and how does that impact metabolic fat loss and all of that stuff, and like so many freaking things. And so if you're not opening yourself up to that and putting yourself in that situation, following scientific studies on social media or getting notifications or signing up for email lists for that stuff's free. Or, books, things like that. So I think that is a big one. And this wasn't actually on the list, but I'm going to take it into this one because it just made me think of it. If your coach has never had a coach for themselves, do not hire them. That is one of my biggest things. If they do not currently have a coach, maybe fine, totally fine, whatever. But if they've never had a coach in their life, like, I think it is so valuable to see both sides. And 2, not everyone can know everything. Name a top athlete in the world that doesn't have a coach. Name a top athlete that doesn't have a coach. I have had a coach consistently. I took maybe a 4-month break because I was trying to figure out what I wanted, but I was a coach myself at the time. But I've had a coach consistently for the last 5 years. All the time, with maybe 3 to 4 months exception of that. And
a coach can be anything, kind of. Like, I never hired a coach.
Yeah.
But I had you.
Yeah.
You were a coach.
I mean, we did check-ins.
And yeah, we still did check-ins.
Yeah.
Like, it can be.
You were a client.
That coach you want to hire could have had, like, their best friend that's a coach. But not having any type of coaching at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Run away.
Yeah. I think it gives you, one, you're going to be learning something 100%. But then 2, leveling yourself up. And then 3, these people are investing in you. You have to invest in yourself too. And just like from an experience standpoint, I think it's very big, because I know too what it feels like to be a client. And that's like a big thing is, I learn different things, whatnot to give to my clients, things like that. And especially if you're getting into bodybuilding, you must have a coach. Like, again, look at all the top athletes in any sport, and they all have coaches, and whatever it is. So I think that one's a big one for me. So
I agree.
Yeah, that one wasn't on the list, but that made me think of it. Is I've had a conversation with a lot of people, even that have wanted to become coaches, and they've asked for advice on how to get into coaching, and I asked if they've had a coach before themselves, and they said no, get a coach. Like, you will learn so much out of that, of putting yourself through the process too, and feeling what that feels like and going through the journey too. So,
I agree.
do you want me to take another one, or do you
It's
want to
up
go?
to you.
Okay.
Go for it.
There's so many.
I know. Here. All right. Another one. Don't hire a red flag. Don't hire a coach that will just take anyone and everyone. That will just, if you just go up, if you're a client, go like, hey, I need to lose body fat or whatever.
Right.
Oh, well, yep, I'll take you. If they don't know anything about you and they don't specialize in anything, they're just taking anyone and everyone.
Right.
They're just in there for a buck. They don't care.
Right, that's the thing. And actually, we talked about this a decent amount when Kramer was on here. And, that's something you'll see, too, in the fitness industry is coaches that are, like, afraid of other coaches and things like that is because they are only in it to make money. And here's my thing with that is if a client comes to me and let's say maybe they have a history of an eating disorder, things like that, that is not in my wheelhouse. I am not certified or comfortable or legally allowed to do that. I'm going to refer you out to someone that I know that does do that and I trust. I'm not here to just take your money and not get you any results. I want you to truly change your life. Like, yes, this pays my bills. This is my full-time job, but I am not in this for the money. Like, I started this as a hobby and had no idea I could do it to the capacity that I do now. Or let's say someone comes to me and they have powerlifting or strength goals. Not my forte. Not something that I'm like super confident in programming. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to say, listen, McKenna has done powerlifting. She's very well versed in this area. You'd probably be a better fit off with her. But if someone came to you and said, hey, I'm interested in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You would say,
here you go.
Go to Olivia.
Not me.
If someone comes to me and, they're needing testing done or lab work done, things like that, I'm going to instruct them to go to a doctor. If a client comes to me and there is, challenges going on mentally, I'm going to refer them out to a therapist. Things like that. Like, it is such a green flag to see coaches referring out and plugging other coaches. Like, so many times I've had conversations with people and said, hey, listen, I think you can absolutely benefit from some assistance, but I don't think I am the right fit for you. I think that's best for you to go see this person or someone in this realm, things like that. Because I am not here to just take your money and figure it out. I'm here to take you if we align, we see each other, we agree on the same things, and I can truly get you where you want to go. So I'm not here to just make money.
I agree. And yeah, just you pretty much nail on the head. You just like said everything I just had in my head to say.
Matthew's speechless because people just don't.
Drop it. Yeah, like that. It's almost like leading into another red flag we had was I lost it.
What?
I just said I lost it.
Oh, do you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a quick one, but if you submit your check-in and your coach doesn't get it to you within the 24 hours, I do my check-ins later. All my clients know this. I work an in-person 9 to 5, so I do my check-ins later. But every client always has a check-in within the 24 hours. All the time. All the time. Always gets a check-in response within those 24 hours. So, if you submit your check-in on Monday and your coach gets to it on Wednesday, not the best thing in the world.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah.
It just same thing. It just
Timely
if your
communication.
coach does that, then sorry for you, but they don't care.
Yeah.
They're just in it for the buck, and just
or it's just there's too much load. It's not organized. Things like that. So.
Yeah. All right. It was. I cannot stand you see it more in personal training, but a lot of online trainers do it too, using pre-made workouts.
Yep.
Hate it.
Yep.
Cannot stand
All of
it.
your big box gyms that you're paying $80 an hour, with the exception of Ready Fitness Training in St. Louis, Missouri on 1530. I think it's South Kings Highway.
Yep. Like, there's some.
Shameless
there's
plug. Go see Kramer and all my buddies.
some Kramer, Jamel,
Curtis.
Ian. But yeah, pre-made workouts. No.
That the
Don't do
corporate company is deciding, and then the trainers just decide from that. Yeah. All your big box
the corporate
gyms.
probably, the way they got the workouts was they probably Googled top 5 best
And it's like
upper
4
body
by
workout.
15.
No.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. I
Yeah.
see it more where
It's definitely more
We're-
in person,
yes.
but I've seen like business coaches selling. Like, I know I have a business coach on my head right now that sells to online personal trainers like 6-month workout programs for them to give their clients.
Yeah.
Which,
like there's
sure,
one
maybe
thing-
for a beginner,
Yes.
everybody will start in the same thing. But like, if we're talking like physiques and things like that, it should be tailored to the person.
Yes. Like, there's one thing.
And if you're promoting, my big thing with that, I'm so sorry. My big thing with that is if you're promoting customized workouts and you're not giving customized workouts, that's a problem.
Yes. Like, yeah, just, it's awful. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Don't, like, there's one thing if you and I, we made a 6-week program.
And we're
someone can
selling
buy-
it as
we
a
can sell it.
program.
You're selling as a program, but that's not,
Me telling them
That-
I'm giving
yes.
them customized
that's
workouts.
to someone who, if someone, let's say in our building, not been in the gym really, and they just want to get started. It is something to help you get started and get your foot into the
right.
gym. Now,
And not marketing it
if
as
I'm
customized
coming
workout
to-
plan.
If someone's coming to me saying, hey,
One
this
on
is what
one.
I'm lacking, this is what I need help on, all this, I'm not just going to be like, well, buy my 6-week program.
Right.
Here you go. No.
And the 6 weeks program, like, even if that's what we like, that's totally fine. I don't think selling programs is wrong. Like,
Neither do I. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think we sell programs and stuff as well too. I think programs are very beneficial. They're a
I agree.
cost effective thing. My problem is the false marketing
Yes.
of it, where it's marketed as customized, where it's marketed as the trainers are creating these when they're not.
I agree.
So, whatever. I'm going to talk about poaching.
Ooh, I thought we were saving this one for last. We'll go for it.
I'm going to talk about poaching, which this is something
This was also in all caps.
all
big
caps added by me. Let's go ahead and mark that one off the list. How much time do we have left? Okay. So this one you might not see as much as in the client seat. But something I've even seen, I will just get, what is poaching? Poaching is when another coach knows that you have a coach and they want you on their team while actively not giving a fuck that you have a coach. Meaning, let's use little Matthew Monday, for example, here. Let's say I'm just going to take a hypothetical situation that you are my client, okay? And a coach messages you and says, hey, Matthew, you're looking great. And you respond and say, thanks so much. And they respond and they say, like, what are your goals right now? And you text them back, just being a nice human being, having a conversation. And, you all get the conversation. He pitches you for a call for coaching, whatever it may be. And you say, oh, I actually have a coach. It's Olivia. And he says, oh, like, okay, that's cool. So, like, I'd still love to, like, get on a call with you and talk about what we offer at my team.
Don't do that.
You are disgusting and are one of my least favorite people in the entire fitness industry. And that is so disgusting of behavior. And I know all of my good coaches will agree with me on this. The only way you can get clientele is stealing it from other people, you're a shit coach.
You said it.
It's just so upsetting that
Disgusting.
you know,
Disgusting.
someone, and I will say this from the client's point of view. I reached out to my current coach while I did still have a coach. However, I reached out after the conversation that had been had with my coach, letting them know I was leaving. And the coach that I hired, Meg DeGento, love her to death. And before I even got on the call with her, she was like, I will not discuss anything with you until you confirm that you have let your coach know that you are ending your contract. And I will not take you on until that contract is completely over. And
Go Meg.
Go Meg. And I love Meg to death. That is just so, if you just, it's hard to see like from the client seat, if that coach is doing that. But maybe you're someone who has a coach right now and you've got coaches in your DMs, things like that. And you're telling them that you have a coach, and then you see them in person and they're still talking to you and annoying you to the point where you don't even feel comfortable going to that gym anymore. And you're telling your current coach, and there's like even ties happening there, which that's super disrespectful. Just know that like people know that you're poaching, and people talk about how you're poaching, and it's like actually disgusting. So
like you can do almost everything at first. You can go into someone's DM.
Absolutely, have a conversation.
Because like
you're not gonna know if majority of people, you're not gonna know if they have a coach. Like
yes, and like a coach sliding in my DM saying I'm looking great, whatever, is gonna make me feel amazing. However, and I'm not gonna think anything about it.
Right.
Until they try to sell me that call, and then I tell them sorry I have a coach.
Right.
And they keep trying. That's the red flag. Like,
yeah. And I just had a client join literally like 2-3 weeks ago, and I had messaged her. I came across her profile on Instagram from one of my current clients, and I messaged her and just wanted to get to know her. I saw that she posted like fitness stuff, and she had said that she currently had a coach, but immediately she said, after messaging her, she was like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about, doing this. I've heard great things about you, but I currently have a coach. Immediately I was like, have you let your coach know? Also, like, what is it that you were lacking in there where you feel like you're still looking? And then, when we got on the call, it was like, when does your contract end? Like, what does that situation look like prior to discussing any commitments, things like that. So it needs to be done in a clean way in the fitness space. And again, it's hard from the client's end, but just this is more for the coach's end. Don't poach on people's clients. So whatever. I did that quicker than I thought I was going to.
Well, kind of those same coaches, which is another red flag, is a coach that constantly and will talk ill about their client to another client.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I've just
it's almost like for you, for example, because you have a lot more clients. If a client came to you from me looking in, 99% of the time you don't even tell me about whatever's going on with your clients or whatever. Like, a client should almost, yes, you're their coach, but you almost like, I almost want to say like therapy, like whatever, it stays between us.
Oh,
I'm
100%.
not going to talk.
It's 100%
like,
confidential.
Your wins, you give me the okay, I'm posting it. It is awesome, great. But your downs or you're lacking, or God, you haven't done a check-in in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
You're not hitting your macros, this or that. You're just being lazy, this, awful. I'm not going to talk ill about you to a client that's doing great.
Exactly. Callie's trying to sneak over here. Go lay down. Bunnies. No, you need to go lay down. Oh. They're coming up. Oh. All right. Well, we've got the whole gang here. Lay down. Thank you. But no, I completely agree with you on that, and I've talked to many, clients in person, things like that. And, they've asked, like, how even like genuinely asking, like, you know, they see another client that's doing really well that like I post on social media and they'll ask how they're doing. And I never share intimate details of what is going on with that client, good or bad, because that's completely confidential. So I think that that's big. I think I want to go with the only mindset is to push harder and never pull back. So, if consistently it's just harder and harder and harder, and even with that, it's just like I'm gonna combine those two of just like, go harder, do more, less food, more cardio, more this, more that. And it's not like, hey, we need to take a step back. Like, we need to do a deload week with training. We need to do a diet break. We need to pull you out of a deficit and get you reversed back to maintenance. You need to rest. You need to recover. Things like that. That has got to happen. But then with that, if you're a client who is struggling and you're going through something, or you're not even going through something, it's like just something isn't clicking, and you know, you're not able to figure out how to hit your macros, or your training schedule's not working, and all they say is we need more consistency, do better. And they're not giving you any tips on how to combat it, any strategy. They're not saying, okay, like, we've been trying to do this for a while now, maybe we need to change the plan, like things like that. What are they coaching you on? All they're doing is directing you. You don't need a director. You need a coach. Like, you need somebody that has multiple avenues to get you there, who has strategy to get you there, has, you know, tips and tricks for everybody's lifestyle in order to get you there, rather than just saying, like, you need to figure it out and get there. Like,
That's leading into another one we have is when they don't ever make any changes, even if you ask, like, as a client, even if you ask, like, hey, this isn't working, whatever, and they don't make any changes. No.
Yeah. And to some degree, you know, I've had clients come to me that say, like, hey, I need more fat because I always go over it. No, you don't. Like, you can, like, this is the fat range that your body needs, and we're going to stay at this. But, like, if a client says, like, hey, I don't have, you know, this equipment, and you're like, well, just substitute it out, and you don't substitute it for them. Or them saying, hey, I'm a nurse, I work 4 10-hour shifts, and you saying, okay, we're going to put you on 5 days, just do the 5th week if you can. No, not doing that either.
And also, like, with exercises, yes, definitely for more us that we're online, so we're not there in person.
Right.
Some movements are harder for others. Some movements are harder for some people than it is for others.
I'm not going to program a beginner a Bulgarian split squat.
No. But, like, for example, we've been lifting for how long?
Right.
Although I used to do it all the time, I hate, for myself, back squat.
Right.
I'm not going to program it for myself.
Right.
I'm going to substitute it for same movement, same everything.
And that's what I stand on too, is like, also that's what I was talking about, like, with being optimal earlier, is like, not everything is going to be like the best optimal thing, but you can have a mix of optimal and enjoyable. Yep. And that's what you have to do as a coach too, is like, you can absolutely do that. So I think that that's a very big one as well. I agree. So we've got a little bit of time to go into a couple other ones. One I want to talk about is just blindly programming a shit ton of volume with no training strategy to include tempo, RPE, working sets, things like that. I've seen programs that have been 8 to 9 exercises, 3 to 4 sets a piece, and it's just straight sets. And which straight sets are great. I love straight sets. Not everything needs an intensifier. Not everything needs, you know, heavy in it. But just boom, 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 boom. And why the fuck am I hitting 4 exercises and then a compound and then an accessory and then a compound at the end? Like, it makes zero sense to me. And
there's no structure behind it.
Exactly. And the science behind it of like what working sets we need, what, you know, tempo, like RPE. I'm not pushing tricep push downs I'm not pushing lateral walks to failure. Like, what are you talking about? Like, there has to be some sort of training strategy in order for things to click. And I think that is such a big thing that I saw a lot in the fitness industry, is just like, crazy volume. And, you know, volume is great and we need to have certain volume to achieve certain goals, but just with no science behind it, where you're just looking at the program and you're like, what in the world? Or even you're looking at your program and you're like, why am I training chest right now as a bikini athlete? Like, why is there a chest and tri day for me as a bikini athlete? As an amateur bikini athlete? Absolutely, you're going to be more fine-tuned the higher that you get, things like that, whatever. And absolutely, I think a little bit of chest for females especially is important still. But why do I have a 5th day of chest and tri as an amateur bikini athlete? Why am I not hitting, like, legs or shoulders again? Like, what am I doing? Why am I hitting quads more than I'm hitting glutes as a bikini athlete?
Mhm.
Like, it just, the shit like that just doesn't make sense. And you're like, what? Like, who the hell came up with this program? So, or a program that was very visibly made for somebody else. So, yeah. Do you have another one?
Let's see. All right. Yeah. So, I see this more like the influencers,
Yeah.
but coaches that just they push their supplements and like, well, you before you hire me or whatever or do this, they just push supplements on you like, hey, use my code Monday here, buy these pills.
Yeah.
This will help you lose your fat.
Yeah. That, and I think my thing with that one that we put in there is, one, they're pushing supplements prior to proper nutrition adherence and proper nutrition manipulation, because majority of the things that you can get, especially as a beginner, amateur, intermediate, things like that, unless you're advanced, I'm not adding in advanced supplements for you right now. Like, most of my clients are on the basic 3, which is going to be your vitamin D, it's going to be your fish oil, it's going to be your creatine. Very basic, right? But guess what? I am going to recommend them the best thing on the market that they can get. I'm not going to send them one that I have a code with, for example.
Yep.
Because I care as a coach for the health piece more than the money piece. And absolutely, I work with One Up Nutrition. I have a code with One Up Nutrition. I love their supplements and things like that. And I will promote their protein powder because I do think it's great. I signed with them for a reason. But, you know, if client comes to me and they have lab work and they're deficient in a vitamin or something like that, I'm going to send them probably to like Revive or New Ethics or something like that, because that's one of the best things on the market. And so I'm not going to join, you know, a supplement company that I'm not going to name right now. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about. But just where all the time it's supplement this, supplement that. And my biggest thing with that is if you have a code with them, good for you. Absolutely. Like, if you're, you know, referring that out, make the money. My big thing with it is just the push of supplements without the proper prior nutrition adherence and manipulation and additions to get you the results from that. Like, if a client's suffering with sleep, I'm not immediately going to slap magnesium on them. I'm going to run through everything possible naturally that I can to better their sleep, get testing done, work through nutrition, meal timing, melatonin production, all things possible before I say, hey, let's try this supplement out. If we're talking cycle issues, we're talking menstrual cycle issues, I'm going to run through stress. I'm going to run through imbalances. I'm going to run through lab work. I'm going to run through and then, yeah, maybe I'm going to put a chastity in there. Maybe I'm going to add in a DHEA. Like, I may add in like a dim supplement, something like that. But I am not going to have someone come to me and say, hey, I lost my cycle, and immediately put them on a supplement. If I can add in certain foods, like I'm adding in flax seeds, I'm adding in certain things that are going to help with that production to
like,
get it back as naturally as possible.
Like with you, like during prep and everything, you got to a point you couldn't digest some things.
Right.
So instead of immediately jumping you to here are these supplements to help you digest your food, even something simple like digesting your food. No, first thing we're going to do is let's see what you're eating. Let's change the nutrition. Okay, figure out you stop digesting eggs.
Yeah.
You couldn't eat eggs anymore.
Yeah.
But then if it gets to a point where...
But all of my digestive issues were stemming from undereating for a copious amount of time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's different.
Yes.
But
yes.
for the example,
But that would have been the fix that we
Mhm.
realized the entire time was I needed more food and I was doing better when I was eating more food. But, yeah, so I think a lot of it is just, the hurry to put a supplement on. And a lot of people in the market think, like, what's the supplement's going to help me with this? But in reality, it's just your daily routine. So, and things that you could change that science talks about. So, if people read science and they pay attention to those things, then they will know about that. So, cool.
You
We
want to do
covered a
one?
lot.
Yep. You want to do one more or
Mm,
knock that last one out?
well, actually, I think I'm going to close on a different one. I just had this conversation with somebody a little bit ago. But if your coach does not, obviously, this is after you've ended with the coach, things like that. But I am very big on my clients are my clients forever. Like, I still talk to every single person at some point
Mm-hmm.
that is a client of mine. My first clients that I had back in 2020, 2021, they still keep in contact with me. I still reach out to them. Every single person that ends with me knows that my WhatsApp, my phone number will never change, and they will absolutely be able to reach out to me, ask a question on Instagram, things like that. I wholeheartedly, as a person, care for them deep down and love them for who they are and getting to know them, be a part of their fitness journey. If you leave, it will be very visible if you were just money to that person. And it is very sad to have that experience. And I hope to God no one has that same experience because it's very sad. It's heartbreaking. And it's heartbreaking to hear that coming from other people. But it is so important for you to have somebody in your corner that, yes, you are paying them. It is a service. And it is a luxury service, and there's so much money that has gone behind, my education and me figuring it out, and time and effort and trial and error for me to be able to have this service to provide. But you have to find somebody that, like, truthfully is in your corner at all the time. Like, 5 years down the road, if one of my clients messaged me, I am answering them. Like, I care for them so freaking much. And I do this because I care about health and fitness in the world, and I care about making people feel good in their bodies. And yes, I make money from it. Yes, I pay my bills from it. Yes, it's a full-time job for me. But I feel much better paying my bills knowing that this is coming from changing people's lives, not just submitting everybody's check-in every week
Hire a coach.
and just getting it done.
You're not gonna have if you hire a coach, you're not gonna have that same coach forever.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna tell you right now, you could have Meg for the next 10 years, but you may not have her for the 20th year
Right.
or however long. But just because we love Meg, she'll always be there,
Yeah.
and you should always your coach should always make you feel, even if you're not paying, they're not actively
Right.
coaching you right now.
Right.
I can reach out to you anytime.
Oh, 100%. Like, one of my previous clients, Maddie, and she just, she left Ignite because she wanted to compete, and I wasn't offering prep coaching at the time. And she had her first show then, and we stayed in contact so much throughout her prep. I went to her show, got to see her show, and just being able to see that for her was just so amazing. And, having that deep of a connection with my clients is just, like, something that I value, like, so heavily. And, like, that's why I do it. And so I think that that's big, is just I want all of them to deeply know, like, active or not with me, I am right there. They know how to contact me. So I think that is something to look for in the fitness industry, is you will see, how things go, how people are supporting you, things like that upon ending. So, well, now that the animals came over here, I'm, like, actually having an allergy attack. So, but if you have any questions about coaching, you're interested in coaching, either of us would be happy to talk to you. I do solely female coaching. Matthew does really solely male coaching. And I actually have a special that just launched today, Monday, the 28th, where I am offering a special for coaching that I've never offered before. I've never seen done in the fitness industry, and it is for some people who've really been wanting to get into the Ignite community and give coaching a try, but just haven't had the avenue to do so, whether that be commitment, finances, things like that, and I've got big goals to achieve. We just launched that today, and it's going over the next couple of days, so we would be happy to chat with you about that. So you can message me on Instagram, things like that, but we will talk to y'all later.
See ya.